time. Alvin, I know you're a very busy person, especially in this line. Yeah, so really appreciate your time. Can I just briefly ask you to, briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
My name is Alvin.
yeah.
I've been into marketing and advertising for the last 15 years.
Mhm.
Been in Australia, let's say, in the last 3.5 years.
I see.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So, yeah, been still in marketing business,
Mm.
marketing and also doing businesses, advertising,
Uh,
e-commerce. Yes.
right, right. So you're more in the IT and
Yes.
creative side.
Yes. In
Okay.
Australia, I do also a lot of business brokering because I
Ah,
like the businesses. It's dynamic.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Something I'd like to learn as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you migrate to Australia? Like under what visa category?
I migrated using the under the subclass 163.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the last few batches for the 163 visa. Right now,
All right.
they use the business visa for 188.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. So that category no longer existed.
163 is no longer existed, but
Mm.
it's now all 188A or
Oh,
188B.
I see. Can you briefly describe like what are the requirements they need?
I think the requirements varies from state to state usually.
Uh-huh.
But an overview,
Mm.
um, the requirement you still need to prove your net asset,
Ah,
uh, maybe $1.5 million.
all
Okay,
right. I
so
see.
it depends on the requirements that
Yes.
they are asking for.
Right, right.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. The question was like, what are you doing at the moment? I guess you answered that already. So
Yep.
you've been involved in business, marketing, and business brokering as well. So how's your family adapting in Australia? Like, do your children like it here?
Oh yes, my children adapt here very well. They like the school.
Mm-hmm.
The school is fantastic.
Right.
Like very less homework, a
Okay.
lot of activities for them. Easier for them for them to learn. It's much more balanced lifestyle,
Uh,
and the crime rate is pretty low here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At this,
Yes.
part of the suburb. What about the like? What school do they go to? Do they go to a private school, Christian school, or yeah, public school?
They are currently in public school,
Mm,
government school,
I
which I'm
see.
happy because it's one of the top school in Victoria.
All right.
Yeah.
I see. I see. That's good.
Mm.
And what are some of the problems that you and your family face here, like in the first few months or first year?
I think the main struggle here in Australia, being the first year or the first generation migrants, is usually how to bring cash flow into the family.
Oh yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
whether it's by work or by business,
Mm-hmm.
you need to bring money into the family. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So, can you share with us some of the tips, maybe like 5 to 10 tips on like how new migrants can survive and thrive here?
Well, I think survival skills varies from person to person.
Yeah.
So one of it is probably try to find a job
Mm-hmm.
with connections, probably.
Yeah.
Then, if all else fails,
Uh,
have some spare cash. Have that in mind
yeah.
to build a business or to buy over a business.
Right. Right.
Already existing business, there are plenty outside.
Uh-huh.
Of course, there are good and bad businesses.
Yeah.
But as a business broker, we have seen a lot of it,
Mm.
and we can actually help you with it to get good businesses
I see.
that bring cash flow in.
Right. 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 So, can you share with us some of the like advantages of owning a business or buying a business here? Like people think about starting their own business versus buying an existing business.
Well, if you're starting up a new business, there are definitely risks involved. For
Mm.
example, you do not know how much takings you're going to take for the turnover.
Mm.
You do not know whether it's going to be profitable.
Yeah.
There are many risks involved, and you do not know the environment, being new to the country.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that you don't even know, like council requirements. Uh, there are many laws to look at, the insurance,
I see.
the workers, the wages. So if you take over a business, existing business,
Yeah.
all of these are already there. They are already
Ah,
existing there.
I
So
see.
when you take over, the current vendor that sells a business to you, they have to provide training to you.
All right.
Therefore, and they pass all the stuff to you, all the wages, all the permits, the insurance, they pass it on to you. You just take it on as it is. So you just maintain and run it well
I see.
and make improvement as long as you go. The business is fine.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So as business brokers, do you also provide some like basic training for the new buyer? Because the new buyer could also be the new arrival, right?
Usually we do not provide any training, but if you want training, there are many business coaches available here which can give you very good training
I
of how
see.
to run a proper business in Australia.
Right.
But most of the time when we recommend a business to you, the
Yep.
business is profitable, it's
Oh, okay.
running properly.
I see, I
Yeah.
see. So usually how long they will provide the support, say from the previous owner?
It can be 2 weeks to a month to 2 months, depending what sort of business you're buying. Some businesses like franchises business, they would hold your hand and probably walk you through the entire system for maybe 1 month, 2 months, as long as it takes to help you make money.
Right,
So
right.
franchise systems, it's not that expensive. Some of them can be as low as $200,000-$300,000
Right,
to
right.
go into one.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what type of customers do you usually deal with most of the time? And how are they like? And what do they look for usually in a business, you know?
Well, usually most people over here, they are actually locals. They are locals who buy the business. Then also people coming from China, from India on a business visa. They buy over a business, then after that they get their visa.
I see,
see?
I see. Right. So you did mention that some time ago that most Malaysians, they do not buy business in Australia. So why do you think like Malaysians and Singaporeans, they are not so keen on this?
Well, I think being coming from Malaysian background as well, the situation or the atmosphere in Malaysia or Singapore or Taiwan, for instance, also,
Yeah.
they generally don't buy businesses because they have this in their mind that to say that if somebody is selling their business, that business is not doing well.
I see. General perception they
There's a
have.
general perception, general mentality. There's something to hide. There's something wrong with the business. That's why they are selling.
I see, I see.
Yeah, but that's not entirely true in Australia.
Mm.
Okay, that can be true in some circumstances. There are
Right.
bad businesses running out there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there are also good businesses running out there.
I see, I
And
see.
these people are usually these business owners. They build a business from scratch. Then they may want to retire. They want to move interstate. They have to go back to their country. There are many reasons.
I see, I see.
And we use a systematic valuation to value the business and to make sure it's running properly.
I see.
Yeah.
So systematic valuation, can you elaborate more on that?
Oh, we have our own internal office way of calculating and valuing the business, and we have a system to see whether it's profitable or not.
Right.
So let's say if the business is not doing well, we will tell the investor or the new business owner
Yeah.
that this business is not doing well. So be prepared for it. If you want to take over, you got to have some what do you call contingency
Yes.
or plans to improve the business, how to build on the potential of the business.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So unless some businesses are very good, like post office businesses, you don't really need to do a lot of things.
Okay, I
The
see.
system is all there.
Right.
Buy and run the business. It's profitable already.
I see, I see. That's good, that's good. And can you share with us some of the do's and don'ts in buying a business? I mean, like, maybe 3 don'ts that they should watch out for. And 3 do's.
Probably, I think in business, also depending what sort of business you're looking at. For example, we do a lot of commercial and retail business. Having said that, retail means location is very important.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the second thing is the type of business you're getting into. Then make sure you have the right target market to what you're selling. Okay.
I see.
Yeah. And the last one is, I think, is price wise. So price is quite important as well.
Right. Usually, how long it takes to break even? Like generally speaking, I know it's very very general question, but like
Okay,
Yeah.
it depends on the business again. You see, like you said, business is dynamic.
Yeah.
So a lot of things depends on the business. Some businesses within 1 year, some businesses 2 years, some businesses 4 years.
Oh.
So let's say, for example, let's say you take a franchise business. Franchise business can take up to 3 years to get back your return on investment.
I see.
Okay, but most of the time, people run business for 3 years or 4 years, then they sell the business.
Ah, I
So
see.
when they sell the business, they take back their capital already.
Right. Good. And then maybe there's a capital growth as well. By that time, it'll be worth more.
Yes, maybe there'll be capital growth, or even though you sell back at the same amount that you bought, you have a cash flow every month for 3 years.
I see. That's right. That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah. So finally, since most people from Malaysia and Singapore migrate to Australia for the sake of their children, so can you share with us some of the tips on how you help your children, or what kind of support you give to them, so that new arrivals can pay more attention to this? Like what do they need most for the children to assimilate, or to get into this, settle in?
I think the key over here to settle in is to go out and meet more people.
Alright.
Okay, whether like for mothers, go out to meet mom's group. Okay, that's one way. If you're Christian, you go to church. If you're Muslim, you go to a mosque. If you're Buddhist, find a temple. That's where you start a network. There are also a lot of Malaysian groups around that we can network. There are also Singaporean groups, Vietnamese groups. We can all network all together. There are also many businesses groups that for us we can actually go there and network to get more exposure in the market.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And since job is like one of the most important thing to network as well, of course, cash flow and livelihood. Can you give us 3 tips on job search?
On the job search, I think one is that you got to be willing to do anything. Australia is a very different country from other countries, Southeast Asia countries.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to do anything. A lot of things here are DIY, do it yourself.
Yes.
You can't have maids. You can't have what do you call? Even you order furniture, you need to assemble yourself. So you got to prepare with all that. Other things for jobs, you got to prepare a very good resume. Your resume has to be in a good key search. Whatever you're looking for, you got to fulfill all your key search to be able to land you a proper job. And most of the jobs here, you need proper certifications. You get the right paper. Get a proper professional headhunter to help you out with that. That's the best to go about.
I see. Sorry.
And last one, have the right visa for it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's very good advice. Thank you so much.